Howdy y'all, today I am coming back to you with another fairy tale read aloud. I missed last week, but today is another fairy tale Friday, and I'm going to be reading Jack and the Beanstalk to you all, which I'm excited about because I personally really like this story, and apparently it's one of the oldest fairy tales that's still told today. I think from what I can tell, it dates back to some 5,000 years ago, which I don't know if that's true, but I think it is. So that's pretty cool. So, without further ado, I'm just going to go find it, and then I will read it to you guys. Okay, I found it. Okay, I'm gonna read it now. Jack and the Beanstalk, a fairy tale from the British Isles. Long ago, a widow and her son Jack lived in a small cottage with a tiny garden beside it. They kept a cow and lived on the money they made from selling her milk. After many years, the cow began to give less and less milk. One day, she gave no milk at all, so Jack's mother sent him to the market, saying, "Sell her for the best price you can. We must find another way to make a living." Jack led the cow away, whistling cheerfully, and took the market path. There he met a man who greeted him and asked where he was taking the cow. "I'm off to sell her at the market, so that we can buy food for the winter," said Jack. "Is that so?" said the man. Then, holding out his hand, he asked, "Would you perhaps take these beans in payment for your cow?" "No, thanks," said Jack, who was really quite a sensible boy. "She's worth far more than a handful of beans." "But these are magical beans," the man exclaimed. "Plant them tonight, and by morning you'll have a beanstalk that reaches right up to the sky." Poor Jack could not resist, and took the beans from the man. He watched worriedly as the man led the cow away, whistling cheerfully. When Jack returned home to the cottage, his mother was very surprised to see him back so soon. "What did you get for the cow, Jack?" she asked at once. He swallowed his nerves and held out the handful of beans. "What's this?" his mother wailed. "Where is the money for the cow?" When Jack explained that he had met a man on the way to the market, and that he had made a fine offer for their cow, his mother was furious. She threw the beans out of the window and sent Jack to bed without a thing to eat. The next day, Jack realized that even though the sun must be up and shining, it was still very dark in the bedroom, in his bedroom. He looked out of his window and gasped in surprise. At the side of the cottage, an enormous beanstalk had grown just as the man had said. Its leaves were huge and blocked out the light of the sun. Bravely, Jack leaned out and pulled himself onto the beanstalk. It really did stretch up to the sky, and he wondered what he might find at the top. So he climbed and climbed right up through the clouds. At the very top, Jack found a path. He was not about to stop there, so he took the path to find out where it led, and walked right up to a huge house where a tall woman sat. "Hello," said Jack. As he had been sent right to bed without any food and had set off without eating breakfast, he immediately asked, "Do you have anything I could eat?" The woman laughed at his daring and led him inside. "You must be careful," she warned. "My husband is a giant, and he'll have you for breakfast if he catches sight of you." So Jack followed her into the kitchen and Jack followed her to the kitchen as quietly as he could and quickly ate up the bread and cheese she gave him. Just as he was finishing, the whole house began to shake with the thud of footsteps. The giant was home. "Quick, hide in here," the woman cried. She pushed Jack inside a large oven and closed the door so the giant wouldn't see him. Through the oven gate, Jack glimpsed an enormous man. The giant filled the entire doorway and was frowning furiously. He sniffed at the air and bellowed, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman." The giant's wife assured him that no one else was there, and set breakfast on the table. When he had eaten, the giant took out several bags of gold coins and began to count. There was so much gold that halfway through counting he fell asleep. So Jack took his chance and crept out of the oven. He slipped a whole bag of coins from under the giant's nose as he left, and ran back to the beanstalk as fast as he could. Jack let the bag of coins fall to the ground and quickly slithered down the beanstalk after it. Jack's mother was very pleased with the money he had brought home, and the two of them lived very well on it for a while. But the coins ran out sooner than they had imagined, so Jack decided to climb up the beanstalk again. When he arrived at the enormous house, the tall woman was sitting outside once more. "Hello," said Jack boldly. "Do you have anything to eat?" "Naughty boy," she grumbled. "You're the same boy who was here before. My husband, the giant, was missing a bag of gold coins after your last visit. You'd better be off, or he'll have you for breakfast." Jack offered to explain in exchange for some food. So the woman took him into the house and gave him some bread and cheese. Just as he was nearly finished, the house began to shake with the thud of footsteps as it had before. This time, Jack ran straight for the oven without being told, and hid before the giant could see him. Just as before, the giant cried out, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman." But his wife assured him that they were alone, and they settled down to breakfast. This time, when he finished, the giant called out for his hen and ordered it to lay. Each time he said, "Lay," the hen would lay a perfect golden egg. Jack could not resist, and when the giant fell asleep, he sprinted off with the hen tucked under his arm. The birds squawked and clucked and made such a fuss that the giant woke with a start. "Where's my hen?" he bellowed in a rage. The giant's wife came running, but it was already too late. Jack had disappeared down the beanstalk with the hen. Jack's mother was very impressed by the hen's laying, but Jack was still not satisfied. A few days later, he climbed up to the clouds for a third time and crept up to the enormous house. There, he waited until the woman came outside. Then he slipped into the kitchen and hid himself in the cooking pot. A few moments later, the whole house began to shake with the thud of the giant's footsteps. "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman," he roared. "No, no," cried his wife, sure that Jack could not be in the house this time. However, she thought she should check the oven just to be certain. It was lucky for Jack that he had hidden in the cooking pot. The nervous boy sat there quietly while the giant and his wife ate breakfast. When they had finished eating, the giant called for his golden harp, which he ordered to sing. It played him a beautiful lullaby until he fell into a restful sleep and began to snore. Jack took his chance again, climbed out of the cooking pot, and scooped up the golden harp on his way to the door. "Master, help me!" the harp called out in alarm. The giant awoke with a loud grunt that shook the tiles from the roof, and he just caught sight of young Jack in the distance, running away with his golden harp. If Jack had not gained such a good start, the giant would soon have caught up with him. The giant was so tall that for each step he took, Jack had to take 6. The boy rushed helter-skelter to the top of the beanstalk, clambering down the tangle of vines quicker than he ever had before. The giant was not so far behind him now, but he climbed much more slowly than Jack because the beanstalk did not feel as though it would take his weight. Jack reached the base of the beanstalk long before the giant and ran into the cottage. "Quick, mother, fetch the axe!" Jack yelled. He took the wood-cutting axe from her and chopped at the base of the beanstalk again and again. Shudders shot up to the giant's feet. When he realized what was happening, he gave a shout of alarm. Then the stalk broke in two, and the unfortunate giant tumbled to the ground some distance away, dead. When Jack showed his mother the golden harp he had brought back, she hugged him with delight. The two soon became rich by selling the golden eggs laid by the hen, and they lived very well. The end. Wow, that story was a lot more action-packed than The Frog Prince was, but it was good. This one always, conflicted me a bit, just because, stealing is wrong, especially, with the harp where he wasn't desperate, he was just not satisfied. He wanted to steal more, I guess. But also, the giant eats people, which is bad. He probably got what he deserved. For some reason, I feel like when I was in elementary school or something, we saw a play of Jack and the Beanstalk, and I think this was correct, but I remember Jack being depressed about having to sell his cow, and then I feel like it ended with him reuniting with his cow or something, or maybe that was I don't really know, but this one in this story did not care about his cow really that much. He was just here, have her, sell her. I need money, which makes sense if you're really poor and you need money to survive. But I don't know why. I just remembered that. Maybe they did that just to make it more nice for children. But yeah, this was a nice, good story. I enjoyed it. I wonder what happened to the giant's wife though. Because if the stalk broke in half, then wouldn't she have just fallen from her giant house at the top? I don't know. But yeah, I wonder if Jack and his mother, after they got really rich, if they became greedy. Cause that's what, once again, the thing with the harp, that's what it kind of sounded like. He didn't need to go back, but he did, just because he wasn't satisfied with the hen's golden eggs, I guess. So yeah, that was a fun read aloud, and next time I will be reading, let me see, there's a whole table of contents or whatever for this, so I can check all the stories that are going to be read. And next time we will be reading Hansel and Gretel. Or is it Hansel and Gretel? I don't know how to say Hansel or Hansel. But that one, you'll probably heard of it, and you'll probably know what I'm talking about, even if I don't know how to say his name. But bye for now. I hope that y'all enjoyed this, and let me know what you think in the comments.